Police in New Brunswick continue to investigate the vandalism we told you about yesterday at a synagogue in Fredericton. This is what worshippers discovered yesterday morning as they began to commemorate Holocaust Remembrance Day. Someone smashed the glass panes at the synagogue's front door. New Brunswick's premier calls it an act of hate, and the synagogue leadership say they're shocked. But services did go ahead yesterday despite the damage. Fredericton police are trying to determine if the vandalism is the result of targeted hostility. For more, we're joined by Julie Smith. She organized an event for local community members in Fredericton to show their support and also organized a GoFundMe for the synagogue. Julie, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
First, can you tell us how today's event went?
Oh, it was actually amazing. So we started by having everybody wrap around the building, holding arms to basically give the synagogue a hug. And we had so many people that actually was a little bit challenging. We were taking up the sidewalk, trying not to be a nuisance. After that, we were invited in by the rabbi, and the synagogue was full, which was an amazing thing to see. And there were people from different religions, different ages. There were people who drove from St. John. I talked to people who had drove an hour. It was a really nice showing of solidarity.
And in that moment, what did members of the community tell you about how they're feeling in reaction to these events?
So obviously it was shock yesterday. Today, I would say there's some sadness, but there's also a serious thankfulness to know that the community is there. That's why it's so important to stand up to hate crimes. People feel alone, and they only take over when there aren't people who are standing up. They're also, I don't know if defiant's the right word, but they're resilient. So they want people to know that they are part of Fredericton's fabric, and they're here to stay, and they won't be intimidated to not be themselves.
Now, you aren't Jewish yourself, but you chose to organize this event for the synagogue. What inspired you to get involved in this?
I actually worked for the federal government in Holocaust education and anti-Semitism for a few years, 2008 to 2010 or 11. I can't remember exactly when. So I had the privilege of visiting a large number of concentration camps, ghettos, museums. I had the honor to meet a large number of survivors of the Holocaust, and having something that resembles Kristallnacht happen on International Holocaust Day is just is so beyond even just a normal hate crime. It is, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, it doesn't fit with humanity. But I also learned from all of that World War II education that the reason the Holocaust happened isn't just because there were Nazis. It's because there were people who let it happen. There were people who were not brave enough to stand up. And no matter how much time I spent learning about World War II, I always wanted to think I would be that person. So when something like that happens in your community, for me, I think probably the first time ever that has happened. Who are you going to be? Are you going to be the resistance, or are you going to be the person who just keeps going with their life? And I want it to be the person who stands up and is part of not accepting hate as a predominant philosophy.
And you mentioned on social media how concerned you are about what we're seeing in terms of a rise of anti-Semitism. What would you like to see done to sort of combat that right now?
I think there's a number of things. Most provinces have made strong moves in the last few months with the rise of anti-Semitic attacks in Canada to increase their Holocaust education in schools. That is an amazing thing. We definitely need, but a lot of kids are getting their Holocaust education from TikTok. If you look at the statistics of what children and youth and adolescents know and think about the Holocaust and about Jewish conspiracies, it's really quite alarming. So I think there needs to be some serious discussions with social media companies on their algorithms and why they are pushing this level of vitriol. And it is obviously not just about anti-Semitism. We know that social media is creating clusters of extremist thought in a variety of areas, but those algorithms are definitely directly contributing to anti-Semitism. Also, we do need to stand up. Normal people need to recognize that this is their life now, and this is going to keep happening if people do not make it a priority to stand up to hate. And so what I like to see is people who do actively stand up. And I know a lot of people want to in their heart and they don't know how. I'd really like to see a lot more I won't say that word. I would like to see a lot more of people seeing those little things they can do in order to really make a difference and band together, because it's the only thing that's going to make this not become a predominant problem in our society.
Well, it certainly is in difficult situations like this where we hope that education can play a part. Thanks for this today, Julie.
No problem.
Julie Smith in Fredericton.